The sky of Hadrian burned red as the Zarathi swarm descended. Their chitinous wings darkened the horizon, blotting out the light of the twin suns. Every soldier of the Allied vanguard tightened their grips on their weapons, their mandibles, beaks, or jaws clenched in grim silence. Among them stood Koresh, a veteran of the Vaynar Legion, who had fought in dozens of campaigns across the galaxy. He had faced monstrosities that drank the heat from stars, warlords who leveled cities with thought alone. Yet on that day, Koresh's steady claws trembled, not from the enemy, but from the strange creatures at his side. The humans. They were small compared to most species of the coalition, their skin soft, their frames deceptively fragile. To Koresh's eyes, they looked like prey animals foolishly dressed for war. Yet, when the humans moved, there was no fear in their eyes. Only fire. Koresh had been assigned to the human detachment by chance. Their commander, Captain Elias Ward, offered a smile that was far too calm for the battlefield. "Don't worry, friend," Ward had said, clapping Koresh on the shoulder with that unsettling familiarity humans showed. "You'll see. We've got this." The swarm came like a living storm. The Zarathi screamed with a sound that split stone, their talons tearing through armor and flesh alike. The vanguard lines began to buckle. Soldiers from countless worlds broke formation, scrambling for cover, desperate to survive. But not the humans. Koresh watched in disbelief as they surged forward instead of back, their war cries echoing like thunder across the field. They fought not with elegant precision, but with a reckless savagery that defied logic. One human hurled himself bodily at a Zarathi, stabbing again and again even as venom burned through his veins. Another laughed, as she fired until her weapon melted in her hands, then picked up a fallen blade and charged. Fear should have consumed them. The swarm outnumbered them 100 to 1. Yet the humans fought as if the concept of defeat had never existed. Koresh's instincts screamed at him to flee, but something strange took root in his chest. Watching the humans, he felt the tremor of an alien emotion, something his kind had no word for. It was not courage, not exactly. It was madness. A madness that turned fragile prey into predators more terrifying than the monsters they faced. When a Zarathi brute leapt toward Koresh, he froze. Death loomed, fangs wide, until a blur of flesh and steel intercepted it. Captain Ward tackled the beast with nothing but a combat knife, driving the blade into its neck again and again. Black ichor sprayed across his face, but he kept cutting, kept fighting, until the creature collapsed. Ward rose, chest heaving, eyes blazing, and barked. "What are you waiting for? Fight!" Koresh obeyed. Not out of duty. Not out of training. Out of fear. Fear not of the enemy, but of failing beside these humans who refused to fall. The battle raged for hours. The swarm pressed harder, but the humans held the line, their bodies broken, their numbers dwindling, yet never retreating. Koresh fought until his claws bled, until his limbs screamed with exhaustion, and still the humans fought harder. When the final Zarathi shrieked its last breath and silence fell across the battlefield, the plain was littered with corpses, alien, insectoid, and human alike. Of the human detachment, barely a dozen remained standing. Captain Ward leaned on his blood-stained knife, his smile weary but unbroken. Koresh stared at them, his carapace trembling. He had fought beside legends, beside creatures worshipped as gods, but never had he known fear as he did fighting beside humans. Not fear of death, but fear of what it meant to stand beside a species so relentless, so unwilling to surrender, so terrifying in their defiance. Later, when asked by his commanders what he had learned of humanity, Koresh spoke only one truth. "They are not fearless. They are worse. They feel fear, and they run toward it."